This broadcast is brought to you in part by Hendricks Chevrolet, celebrating 75 years in the Valley, and State Center Community College District, covering Fresno, Reedley, Oakhurst, Madera, and Clovis. Thank you for your support.
From Sunnyside Stadium in southeast Fresno, this is North Yosemite League football on CMAC. Tonight's matchup, the Roosevelt High School Rough Riders taking on the McLane High School Highlanders. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dan Taylor, and I'm joined by the championship-winning coach, Ray Reyes. And Ray, these two teams, impressive in that they have continued to fight throughout this season despite setbacks.
Yes, Roosevelt has played some very close games. They're winless, but they're ready to bust loose. They lost one of their games on the last play of the game, and Coach Pancotti's doing a great job at Roosevelt building that thing up, so I think this is going to be a really good one.
This could be a battle. We saw Roosevelt last week against the league leaders, Sunnyside, or I should say co-leaders, because Torres is off to a great start in league play. And one thing about the Riders, they were in that game with Sunnyside to the very end and very competitive throughout the night.
Yeah, this is a young team that plays hard. I think the coaches are really keeping I think being positive with them, because that's the most important thing when kids are, struggling to get that win. They need coaches that believe in them and keep it positive, and they'll get the breakthrough.
Well, you see the crowds there, and there's a big turnout tonight for Roosevelt as they have brought in feeder schools, students, cheerleaders, band members, youth football team members from many of their feeder schools here. You see them there in the end zone, and a very festive night tonight for the folks.
They call it regional night, and there's a lot of kids here, and you're going to have a lot of fun.
The Roosevelt High School Rough Rider Marching Band, and year in and year out, one of the great bands in the central San Joaquin Valley, as evidenced by a burgeoning trophy case from many, many band competitions. Well, coin toss has taken place among the captains out at midfield. McLane was the winner of the coin toss. They've elected to defer until the second half, which means that we're going to be seeing Roosevelt receiving to get this game going. And you see the activity there, the Rough Rider Marching Band, one of the larger and more successful band programs here in the Fresno area. Our officials tonight, the man wearing the white hat who will be making the calls, you'll hear Bob Kayajanian, a long-time official here in the central San Joaquin Valley, heads up the officials organization. Clayton Williams is the umpire, Jeff Schaefer the referee. Interesting story on Jeff Schaefer. For 20 years, he was part of the chain gang here at Sunnyside Stadium. He has stepped up, and now he's wearing a striped shirt. Alex Alvarez, Richard Vizcarrando, rounding out our officiating crew. The Highlanders set to kick this one off. Glad you're with us for North Yosemite League action from Sunnyside Stadium. The short kick, and the Rough Riders look as though they're going to start possession at about the 40-yard line.
Yep, pooched it up to the right side there. I think it was caught there at the 39 and advanced. Did the right thing. Sometimes kids want to run sideways on that. He ran straight up the field, picked up 11 good yards. They have good field position to open up here, Dan.
Well, the quarterback for the Rough Riders, Jackson Cluster, who has played very, very well. There's some terrific young quarterback talent here in Fresno this season. You saw Tanner Wilson from Sunnyside High School last Friday night, and of course Jackson Cluster among those very talented young signal callers, of which you were one at Hoover High School back in the day with the outstanding Rod Perry for Coach Rush.
Might be the best one to ever play through Hoover.
Jeremy Young tackle in the backfield, tackling number 22, Pearson Senselin. Going to be a loss of 4 on the play.
So the Riders trying to start off with the running game and a nice little toss to Jeremy Young, but Young thrown for a 4-yard loss as the Highlanders had that one snuffed out.
Yeah, they got penetration from that D-line right away, and he couldn't get a head of steam going.
2nd and 14 now for the Riders. In motion, Danielle Booker. Foster going to go to the air. He's got a receiver open. That's Booker. Not able to hang on to the football. Pass incomplete out at the 42-yard line.
Roosevelt motioned over to this double side here on the lower part of the screen and set up a trip situation and flooded this side. Nice pass. I think our white out there would go back to the huddle and say, hey, that's my bad there.
So big 3rd down play for the Rough Riders. They've got plenty to have to gain here. They need to get to midfield if they're to get a 1st down. Foster working out of the pistol. Going to the air and a big rush coming from the Highlanders. He's got receivers, but is he going to be able to get time as he's being chased? Penalty flag flies. Foster looking for a man, trying to get a receiver to release, and he's just going to run out of bounds back where the original line of scrimmage was at the 40-yard line.
Jackson Foster tackle near the 39-yard line. We got Henry Marcus down.
Holding. 78 on the offense.
Well, there you see Bonke Ajanian with the signal holding. That'll march it back another 5 yards. Give them another 3rd down opportunity.
Going to bring the ball back all the way to the 26-yard line.
I think you should call this play here, Dan. This is a good one for you. 3rd and 24. What you got?
I think you're just flooding that defensive backfield and putting it up. Officials having a conversation. Officials are chatting with the Highlanders defensive captain, Noah Zamora.
Holding. Number 78 on the offense has been declined. 4th down.
So McLane is going to decline that penalty. Smart decision. Brings up a 4th down now.
Yeah, I think someone was distracted there. You want that football.
That's right. So the Highlanders now going to punt Highlanders now will send their return man. That's Jordan Stewart deep to field this one. And he will field it on a hop. He will not field it at all as the Riders will down the ball at the 30-yard line.
At the 30-yard line. McLane will have the ball 1st and 10.
So a 3 and out for the Roosevelt Rough Riders on their first possession of the night. That'll bring up the Highlanders' first opportunity with possession of the football. They'll start this drive from the 30-yard line. And we saw McLane just a couple of weeks ago in action against Fresno. A game they won 28-21. Very impressive performance by the Highlanders that night. Had a rough opener, lost 14-6 to Porterville, came back in a tight ball game with Mendota, victorious 20-14. Went over to the coast to San Luis Obispo where Mission Prep defeated them, and this is Newhouse trying to get around the end, pick up some yards, and he does, gets about 4 before being knocked out of bounds.
Nice job on the fly sweep. Didn't look like anything was there. He made a nice dip into the upfield like he was going to try to take it up the field, and he set up some blocks to the outside and picked up 4.
Last week the Highlanders squared off with Torres High from Madera. And the Toros were victorious in that one, 34-7. Going to keep it on the ground again. Coming to the near side. Got a penalty flag out there, but plenty of first down yardage as Jordan Stewart carried the rock. Getting up beyond the 45, and we've got another penalty flag flying. And that's in an area where usually someone has said something that they shouldn't have.
Penalty flag also comes out late.
So a couple of penalty flags down, one in the backfield, one at about the 48-yard line. Officials explaining what they saw. And the objective out there is to make the correct call. That's one of the reasons you have discussions like this. There are a number of first-year, second-year officials, particularly on this crew, and they're working to make sure they get it right when they make these calls.
56 has got a bad mouth. That one's no good. Holding 52.
So the holding call against the Highlanders will stand, and that'll bring it back. Few things frustrate a head coach more than having a terrific play called back because of a hold.
At the line of scrimmage, so that's going to take it back quite a bit.
10-yard penalty. Going to bring the ball back to the 20.
Marched all the way back to the Highlanders' 25-yard line.
Well, McLane has had some early success on both edges, to the right and the left, so let's see if they keep that going.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 15 now for the Highlanders. Noah Zamora, their quarterback, coming in after getting the play call from the sideline. Stewart in the backfield. A bit of play action, quick toss to Newhouse there on the far side. And he'll pick up a couple. Correction, Gustavo Castaneda.
Very well defended by the Roosevelt defense. They ran a nice play action fake and leaked that back into the flat, but Roosevelt was all over and waiting for it.
And the Rough Riders change personnel here on 3rd and 12.
3rd and 11 for the Highlanders.
And after being up under center, Noah Zamora now will operate out of the pistol. Going to go to the air, but he's under pressure. Flushed from the pocket and hauled down after a pickup of just a couple of yards. So for the Highlanders, that'll now bring up a big 3rd and 12. Correction, 4th down and about 11, maybe 10 yards. So big play for them here.
4th and 7.
And the Highlanders to punt the football away. A couple of backs deep for the Rough Riders. As Stewart gets it away. Bouncing inside the 30 to about the 25-yard line where it's downed and where Roosevelt will pick up their second possession of the night. Rough Riders under a new head coach this year, Dwayne Wright, the former Fresno State and West Hills College standout who played in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills. And as a new head coach, you've experienced this at Parlier, at Edison, at Fresno. What are your objectives when you come in and take over a program?
Well, and I've heard good things about Coach Wright, what they're doing. To me, number one, find out every good football player on campus, and 2, get to work and get them eligible. And because they can't be out in the field unless they're eligible. So that would be the first place, and I'm sure he's done that.
Well, the Highlanders snuff out that running play very, very quickly, and it looks like it'll be about a loss of 4 yards.
Judging by the numbers I see out here between Roosevelt's varsity and junior varsity, yes, they have the kids out here playing. They have the classwork stuff taken care of, so that is very important.
And the numbers are very impressive. I mean, we watched a little bit of the JVs earlier, and they had a lot of players out for the junior varsity team.
Yes.
Quick hitter to Daniel Booker. He's got room to run up at about the 30 before he's ridden out of bounds. But those big numbers, we have seen some schools in the North Yosemite League just the opposite, where numbers have declined. And it's not just in the North Yosemite League, it's around the Fresno Clovis area where participation numbers have dropped a little bit. So to see what Roosevelt's doing, that's a testament to the coaching staff and the interest they're creating and the participation they're generating off the student body.
I agree 100%, because I think as a general rule coming out of the pandemic, I think the numbers are down in more schools than not.
Off tackle, gets up close to the 36-yard line. And I can remember a conversation many years ago with Elizabeth Toronas when she was the principal at Hoover. And she felt football was very important for creating a positive morale, great attitude on campus for the remainder of the school year. I should say a successful football program was important to set that tone for a good school year.
Yeah, you have to take your lumps, but you have to keep the kids on board. Again, make it fun, keep it positive, and once the success comes, it snowballs.
So the Riders punt it away, but it's a short punt. It's going to bounce, and it's going to take a Roosevelt bounce. Now it's going to come back to about the 40-yard line, maybe the 39, where it's down by the Riders. And now let's see what the Highlanders are able to do with their second possession of the night. Still no score here at Sunnyside Stadium. North Yosemite League action, McLane High School and Roosevelt High School. Glad you've joined us here on CMAC. Out of the I formation, give goes to the second back through, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing there.
Lined up under center. You don't see that too much anymore. As I watch high school games, I think if I were to come out of retirement, which I will not, I think I would have my quarterback under center a little more. I think I just like it, particularly in short yardage situations. I think lining up deep in the shotgun kind of puts you at a little natural disadvantage.
But in either the pistol or the shotgun, you've got time to survey the defense a little more than up under center. But you're right, there are some plays where being up under center is an advantage. Zamora rolling out, under pressure, completes it to Castaneda, but ball's on the ground, out it comes. Rough Riders with the football.
I don't know if we can pick up that number, but that was a beautiful strip. I believe it was the corner or the, it may have been a corner that was squatting in the flat and cover two and met that runner there, but he can open that thing right out of his hand.
If we see a replay on that, it'll be interesting to watch. Let's, here we go.
There it is, number 8.
Jeremiah Galindo Romero, yeah. Terrific
nice play, Jeremiah, excellent.
To the ball placed at the 21-yard line of the Highlanders. Tremendous field position for Roosevelt. Kloster barking out the signals. Give goes to the back, and he is hit after a gain of about a yard.
Jeremiah Galindo Romero.
And Galindo Romero, who made that great strip on defense, now carrying the football on offense.
Picks up about 1 on the play.
Let's see if Coach has a play for the red zone here that he drew up this week that he can go to right now.
2nd and 9 from the 18-yard line. They're going to go to the air. Overthrows his receiver, who was pretty well covered at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, looked out here to the right, and McLane did a really good job. They were on top of that, and impressively, he turned around and looked for a secondary receiver all the way on the left side of the field, but he was well covered as well.
So suddenly, we're looking at 3rd down for the Rough Riders. They use a system in which the quarterback comes over to the sideline, speaks to the offensive coordinator to get the particular play call. Everybody does it a little differently. Did you have a favorite way to get a play in?
We did it the exact same way. I always liked it.
Little out pass. He's got some yardage. Picks up maybe 4, but that's going to be well short of the first down marker.
About 4 yards on the play.
Little bubble screen to the left side, picked up another 3 or 4 yards. So I mean, this is doable. 4th and about a long 5 or 6.
And the Rough Riders are going to go for it. Gloucester back in, calling the play. His 10 teammates head to the line of scrimmage or to their various positions. Rolling near side, but he's got pressure coming from the weak side. Quick toss to the back, trying to dodge and get up near the first down marker, and not sure if he's going to get there.
What a bad break. He was going to cut inside. He had the first down, and I think his foot barely hit the line, and I don't think he made it. We'll see. And I mean, it's going to be close.
Indeed it is. Riders are signaling that they've got it, but we haven't seen a signal from the officials just yet. First down. We now see the call from the officials. It is a first down for the Rough Riders.
They have some eyes to call that from this side across the other side without bringing the sticks across. Hey, more power to them.
So 1st and 10 for the Rough Riders with the football at the 14-yard line. No score. Roosevelt marching toward changing that. Gloucester with one back behind him, Valentino Boozer. And that's who gets the football. No, I take it back. That's Galindo Romero. And he is across the 10 down to about the 8-yard line.
Well, that was very good goal line running by Galindo Romero. He put his head down and he got 3 tough yards straight up the gut. So made the most of that play.
So 2nd down and 5. And we've got a timeout on the field as the two teams are going to head over to their respective sidelines and confer with their head coaches. In a situation like this, what do you like? What would be your thinking?
You know, if they have play action right here, they're not running the ball very, very well right now, but they're staying with it. So if they have some kind of play action straight up, maybe hit someone on a crossing route, but without having access to their playbook, that's an old school guess.
Exactly. So the quarter has run out here, no score at the conclusion of quarter number 1. We head to the second quarter here at Sunnyside Stadium. The two teams now switch ends. And again, we're seeing very inspired play by Roosevelt on an inspiring night with all the feeder schools here and the band. Great enthusiasm here at Sunnyside Stadium.
Yeah, I think Roosevelt has a big advantage. They have a lot of people here with their regional night and all the middle school and elementary football players here having a great time. The band is really got it ramped up. So, hey, I think they can feel the vibe here. I think they want to punch this in for them.
And up to the line of scrimmage they come. Jackson Cluster in the backfield. He's got Galindo Romero behind him. Officials now have everything set. Second and 5. Cluster going to the air. Just out of the reach of his receiver at the far side. And it's going to bring up third down.
It was play action, but they tried to hit they ran a little slant with a quick out, a very, very popular combination route to the short side. And there was a little window there, but he missed it. So it was a tough throw. Would have been a great throw if he had connected.
So now third down. A pair of receivers to either side. Single back behind Cluster in the backfield. It's going to go to the air. Wide open in the middle and in and out of the hands of the receiver.
So ran a slant right over the middle, hit him right there. So not much more you can say. You know, I used to tell my wide receiver coaches, don't yell at the kids that drop a pass. You don't drop a pass on purpose. It just happens. Throw him another pass. He'll catch the next one.
And that might not be a bad call. He was wide open there in the end zone.
Yes.
So on fourth down, the Riders will go for it. And you see this a lot. More and more schools get away from the kicking game. Gloucester rolling, looking for a receiver. He's under pressure. Throwing it up and throwing it well over the heads of his two receivers. And the ball is going to go over to McLane on downs.
Yeah, that brings back memories, that throw. I don't know if that's a Roosevelt rule, but the old Bill Walsh 49er teams used to tell one of the receivers to run along the back of the end zone. And if Joe Montana got in trouble, he threw it up there, and thus the catch with Dwight Clark was born into infamy.
Indeed it was. So the Highlanders take over. Ball at about the 8-yard line.
Ball is at the 6-yard line.
As their quarterback, Noah Zamora, lines up on the goal line. Gives to the back, and they've got room to run. Oh, he's got 10 yards. He's got 20 yards. Can he break this one all the way as he cuts to the near sideline? One defender to get past the 42-yard line, finally ridden out of bounds. About a 37-yard run. That was number 4, Jordan Stewart. Terrific effort out of the backfield. A lot of room to roam, and he thunders into Roosevelt High School territory, brought down to the 42-yard line.
Well, Jordan Stewart just took him out of a tough situation and a couple of nice cuts, and all of a sudden he flipped all the field position. Instead of being in the hole, now they're first and 10 at the Roosevelt 42.
3, 2, go! Start the wave, guys!
Terrific work by the offensive line. That's Newhouse. Shirks one tackler, 2, gets back to the line of scrimmage, picks up maybe 2 yards on a terrific additional effort. I don't know if I want to call it second or third or fourth effort.
Well, there goes a flag late, so I don't know what that is, but no, he was trapped for a loss and actually churned about 5 yards out of that loss to a +3.
It was a 50-yard run and a 4-yard gain.
Yes.
Go! Are you ready? Green, are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, go!
So we await the call from Bob Kayajanian. We see the two coaches out on the field, very anxious to find out what the call is. He's asking for a particular player to come up for conversation.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, inappropriate language, number 1.
Well, there's the call, a personal foul. And after the terrific couple of offensive plays, a penalty is going to push it back into McLane territory, all the way back to the 45-yard line.
The 15-yard penalty brings the ball back to the 35-yard line.
Second down and 23 for the Highlanders. Quick toss in and out of the hands of Jordan Stewart.
Yeah, these big penalties really bog down your drives.
We saw last week Sunnyside whistled 20 times during that game.
Oh, God. I would have been dreaming yellow that night. Yes, and so the secrets of success of good football teams, they're disciplined, they have few penalties, they don't put themselves in those positions where they shoot themselves in the foot and then they turn a great field position situation into a...
Zamora rolling, has a receiver, complete to the 42-yard line. That brings it back to the original line of scrimmage and leaves the Highlanders still 10 yards shy of a first down. Gain of about 13 on the pass play.
That's a nice job. Don't get it all back in one play. You're manageable now. You're at the 43 here, and you have 4th and 11. You can get this.
4th and 11 for the Highlanders.
So we've certainly seen some impressive play on offense. Roosevelt wants a timeout. Dwayne Wright out on the field. Gets the timeout from the official. So the Riders are going to huddle up here on defense and plot a return strategy. But impressive offensive play there by McLane, and it was all negated by the big penalty.
Okay, my mistake. It's 4th down, right?
Correct.
Yes. So we'll see what Coach Pancotti decides here. I like punting. The game's even. Put them back there in the shadows of their own goalpost and come up with a good stop. You'll be in the same place after the punt.
Still a lot of football to be played.
Yeah.
The one thing I rarely see teams do anymore is a fake punt. Used to see that from time to time and don't even see it at all anymore.
Exciting play.
It is.
It really is an exciting play for your team when you pull off a fake punt or you block a punt. Those are two plays that I think really supercharge emotions of a football team.
So big 4th and 12 now. Ball resting on the 43-yard line. And where the Highlanders were in punt formation before that timeout, they're not now. There's Zamora and Jordan Stewart in that backfield.
Let's go defense!
They've got to get it up to the 32.
Let's go defense! Let's go defense!
Using a hard count, hoping to maybe get a few yards. Not able to draw the Riders off sides. And a timeout is going to be taken. Good discipline.
Yes, and I think what Coach Pancotti had in mind, if he could get an extra 5, then he was probably going to be willing to take the gamble on the 4th and 6th. So, he had a plan. So, but I think punting is definitely the move here. Keep them pinned back there.
So the two sides having discussion with their head coaches. And while we wait, talking about play within the city of Fresno, I hear some exciting golf news out of Bullard Talent this week. A 36 on the front 9, that's like my first hole score.
Yes, that's
your grandson?
That's my grandson who's been raised as a son. We've had Max since he was a baby, and he's a very good student. Number one, that's first priority with mom and dad, but he is a very good jazz piano player.
Wonderful.
Loves baseball, number one, but I got to tell you, Dan, I think he's sleeping on his golf skills. I gave up my golf game next to him 1 year into it when he was 9 years old.
Wow.
I became his caddy.
Oh, punt gets muffed. Stewart left with no option but to try to run. Off he goes. He is up near the first down marker.
Gosh.
Has he gotten the first down?
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
Dwayne Wright is trying to claim that the ball was downed back in the backfield. Let's take another look here.
I think it's a first down, so you get a bad snap, and he makes a couple of spin moves after dribbling it on the ground a little bit and barely gets to the marker. And I got to give him credit. He knew where that marker was because his last effort was a backward dive, and he went over the first down marker. So, hey, here we go. McLane in business at the 30, 31.
Terrific run by Jordan Stewart there to pick up the first down. A miraculous salvage of a muffed snap. So it's 1st and 10 now for the Highlanders. Ball at the 31-yard line. And penalty flag comes out. And a delay of game. And it just seems, Ray, no sooner does McLane pull off a great play, get some excitement on their sideline, some enthusiasm in the huddle, they get hit by a penalty.
Yeah, growing pains. You know, these are both young teams. These are teams trying to get a foothold in this NYL and become a force. And this is part of the deal, shooting yourself in the foot. You know, false starts, which I don't think we've had any of those, but delay a game is, to me, preventable. And I think we've had a couple of personal fouls.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely.
I think one was declined.
Right, or was wiped away by the officials.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it was. It was a non-call.
Delay of game again.
Come on, let's go!
Coach Pancotti says, forget the huddle. Let's just go up there.
Wide open receiver. Almost picked off by the Riders, but a terrific job closing and deflecting that pass.
Is that Jeremy Young?
Indeed, Jeremy Young. Terrific job.
I'll tell you what, you don't see too many high school kids that know how to break on a slant like that. That was very good technique. Give Jeremy props, and I think whoever his defensive back coach is, he's showing him the right stuff.
So Jeremy Young, terrific job to close and bat down that pass. 2nd down. Yeah, the Highlanders have got to get up at the 21-yard line for a first down. The play call was a terrific play call, just a hair too late.
Yes.
Going to the air once again. Screen pass. Doesn't get much of anything as Pearson Singh-Sulin.
Roosevelt was having none of that. The line came through, but the backers all dropped in their zones with the short flat out there, and the screen was right in front of them.
Now a 3rd down for the Highlanders.
Third down.
Good job on that last play by Fabian Maldonado.
Zamora back into the huddle from the sideline. Sends his teammates to their positions. Down to the near side, TJ McMillan. Officials whistle a stop to the play.
Come on. Guys, come on. One, help him out.
Well, illegal procedure our call that time. And this has just turned into a disastrous possession for the Highlanders.
3 5-yard penalties.
Zamora's got a receiver wide open here to the near sideline, and it's right through the midst, incomplete. McLane wide open on that one, but unable to bring the ball in. So it brings up a 4th down. And plenty for the Highlanders, who have to get all the way up to the 20-yard line. And Jordan Stewart drops back into punt formation. We saw the miracle he pulled off the last time he was in punt formation. So the Highlanders need another such miracle right here. Jeremy Young, the deep man.
4th down for the Highlanders.
Gets the punt away. Young's going to come up and field it. He's picked up 5. He's picked up 10. And he's brought down at just before the 30-yard line.
Nice return.
Gutsy return with 3 men closing on him very quickly. And he snagged that one and managed to dart up and pick up about 10 yards. So they'll spot it with the nose of the football at the 30-yard line. One more look at it.
Nice return.
Make sure you show your rough right.
Gloucester calling signals. Highlanders trying to rush a defender into position. Jeremy Young, the ball carrier, picks up about 6 yards to the far sideline.
Yeah, headed up the middle and saw the door was closed, and again, that kind of drew the defense into him, and he was able to get to the outside and pick up some good yardage out there, 6 or 7 yards.
So it looks like 2nd and 3 now for the Rough Riders at the 37. Give going to the back. Jeremiah Galindo Romero. He's up near the 1st down marker. And he will be inches shy. And they're going to give him the 1st down. Rodney Wright in the Roosevelt sideline was signaling 1st down.
I guess evidently the 1st down marker was right on the 40-yard line, so they did reach that.
So it's a 1st down for the Rough Riders at the 40-yard line. Going to go to the air. Going for a deep. Pulled in by Danielle Booker at the 25-yard line. Danielle Booker, terrific grab. Nice throw there by Jackson Gloucester. Threads the needle to his receiver. And a big 1st down for the Rough Riders now at the 30, direction the 27-yard line.
Nice catch by Danielle. Very good coverage by the McLane defender. A well-thrown ball, so all 3 kids did their job. Just a nice catch by Booker.
Give going to the back, Galindo Romero, still on his feet, but slammed to the turf by a couple of McLane defenders. They're going to give him a couple of yards up to the 33-yard, or correction, the 27-yard line. So 2nd down for Roosevelt. No score in the game. 2:58 remaining until the halftime. Foster gonna run up near the 30, across down to the 15-yard line, down to the 12, hauled in, and we've got a penalty. And it appears it's going to be a hold. Let's take one more look at it. Foster thought he had a receiver and pulled it down, and off to the races he went before being brought down.
He's a load.
Did a terrific job. But it's coming back.
I saw what I thought was a hold. I thought it was a little far away from the play. I didn't think it had any impact on it. Not going to get into second guessing the officials, but another penalty to stymie what looks like a nice scoring opportunity for both teams.
Gloucester going to go to the air. He's under heavy pressure. Galindo Romero cuts back, gets across the 40-yard line before being brought down.
Gets up to the 34-yard line.
Ball down to the 34-yard line. He has to get to the 18 for a first down. Under pressure. Almost intercepted by the Highlanders. Boy, they brought a blitz that really forced Gloucester to get rid of that football, and he overthrew his receiver.
Yes, it's got a nice arm. He took a hit and got that ball far up the field. He was a little fortunate because the two McLane safeties were over the top, and one of them almost got that.
So fourth down for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. On comes Carson Schmidt. Riders going to punt it away tonight for the first time. Short kick, and indeed it's going to be down at about the 5-yard line by the Riders. Terrific job on that.
Nice job, special teams coach, and the kids executed it. Carson Schmidt pooches it down there. I wish I would have picked up the number of our Roosevelt guy that got down there in a hurry and downed it. Where is that?
Good question.
On the 5. So there's a minute and a half left. I don't know. I can't remember how many timeouts Roosevelt has. Do we know that?
3.
They have all 3. Hey, burn your timeouts here if you can stop their running plays. Let's see if Pancotti's a riverboat gambler and sees if he try to hit a big one here after a little play action fake.
He's got him up in the I formation. Noah Zamora, 2 backs behind him. Going to run the football right up the middle.
The oldest play in football, the straight dive.
Picks up about a yard.
Yeah, sometimes you can pop that through there.
Second out and 10. No score here in the first half as we're inside. Well, about a minute 4 to go. Got the handoff.
Okay, now Roosevelt's going to burn their first timeout. So I think that was a good idea, maybe saving one. They didn't call it after the first down play, but they have now, so they will have one in their pocket if they get the ball back. So that could come in handy.
Well, third down and about 8 yards to go here. They could get a chance for a last-ditch effort to close out the first half. So officials gathered, both teams gathered around their head coaches. 50 seconds remaining here in the first half at Sunnyside Stadium. No score. But the Rough Riders hoping to use their remaining timeouts to try and get it one last shot here. As the Highlanders are in a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 situation. 3rd and 8. Now Zamora drops back into the shotgun formation. Gives it to the back. Around. And he's up near the marker before he is hauled down, maybe a yard or two short.
I think they stopped him. Oh, here we go. He got another flag.
Well, the McLane player drove the Roosevelt defender not only off the field, but past the bench and out onto the running track.
Yeah, well, I think...
a little overzealous.
Dan Taylor, master of the understatement.
So the officials discuss what they have seen, and we await the call and where it's going to put the football. As it would appear, we're looking at about a 4th and 2 with 37 seconds left in the half.
That looked like a post-play foul, in which case they could mark it off and still be 4th down. I don't know. It seemed like the flag came out after the whistle had blown the play dead, so we'll see. Which, if it is against McLane, could really put him back against the wall there.
So let's see what Bob Kayajanian will tell us.
Duck, number 4 for McLane. Then we have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 1, Roosevelt. Each player now has one penalty, and they'll offset, and we have a first down.
Okay, so offsetting, and he did get by the marker, so they get the first down, and I think what you want your kids on defense right now is to be vigilant, be smart, keep everything in front of you. You don't want anything crazy to happen here in the last 37 seconds. You'll take this 0-0 tie going in at half.
So the offsetting personal foul penalties. Give going to the back. Castaneda. And he is stopped at about the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing. Clock continues to run down. Neither team in a hurry to use any of their remaining timeouts. They look like they're content to run the clock out and head to the locker rooms.
Yeah, I think so.
In fact, the Highlanders are actually walking in that direction now with 9 seconds to go in the half.
Looks like that will be the last play of the first half.
And indeed, that will be the last play of the first half as the clock runs down. No score here from Sunnyside Stadium. And Ray, your thoughts on what we've seen here in the first 2 quarters of play?
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm impressed with Roosevelt because they're the team here that hasn't, they're not in the win column this year, but they easily could have won 2 or 3 games. And I don't see a team that lacks confidence in themselves. They're playing very hard. They're struggling a little bit on the offensive side. McLane looks a little sharper, but McLane has shot themselves in the foot with penalties, and Roosevelt to a lesser extent. But, 0-0 game, it could take a fumble, a turnover, someone picks up a fumble, or, a pick six or something. Who knows at this point?
Indeed, indeed. Plenty of football still to come. Stay with us here on CMAC as the second half of the play here for Sunnyside Stadium. We'll be back with you in about 15 minutes.
We have a farming.
Welcome back to Sunnyside Stadium, where we have a scoreless first half of football between the McLane Highlanders and Roosevelt Rough Riders. This broadcast is brought to you in part by State Center Community College District, covering Fresno, Reedley, Oakhurst, Madera, and Clovis. Thank you for your support. Well, the two teams coming back out here to warm up for the start of second half play. We're a little under 4 minutes away from the beginning. Dan Taylor, Ray is with you. And what sort of things generally will take place at halftime in a situation like that? What can we look for?
I don't know what the younger, smarter than me coaches do, but basically our process was we came in and we talked to the kids. We started with the offensive line and we said, hey, what plays, which side, which holes? And we got our best information from the kids. And plus, if you think about it, it's very empowering. If your kid says, hey, coach, hey, run it this way, my side, we got this play. And we always got our best information with that. We also tried to, we scripted plays like most teams do nowadays, but really what you're doing with your script at the beginning of the game is you're seeing if you're seeing the defense do what you thought they were going to do. And sometimes they know that, so they're doing something else. And the best time to modify the game plan is at halftime. I do believe that's the most important powwow you have in the course of a game, the halftime. So. And
who has the advantage in making the halftime changes, the offense or the defense?
Well, I definitely think the offense should come out and outperform the defense. We've got a 0-0 game here. I think McLane has had a good game plan, but you take in the human factor. Coach Pancaldi's kids came in here against the 0-5 Roosevelt team. How ready did they come to play?
Right. Let's take a look at some of what we saw in the first half. And, of course, some of the better plays were negated by penalties. This was a case with the roll pass and Jordan Stewart on the receiving end for the Highlanders. For Roosevelt, they ran the football effectively. They had their difficulties, though, in some spots. This is Zamora rolling right, getting the ball out, and that is the strip play.
Very, very good defensive play. Probably the best defensive play of the half.
And Roosevelt with the football in very good offensive position. And this was maybe the play of the half. A fourth down and like 23 or whatever.
Best
and
special teams plays for sure.
Stewart was terrific and managed to make the very conscious effort to lunge to make sure he got the first down. So we saw some very smart plays, we saw some exciting plays, but just about every good play got negated by penalties. So I would imagine cleaning things up is a goal of both head coaches.
Yeah, I think without the penalties, we have scores in this game.
Exactly.
And so hopefully the kids on both sides, I'm sure the coaches talked about these things. I expect some touchdowns to be scored this half. I really do. I mean, I wouldn't want the Rider fans or the Highlander fans to take this the wrong way, but I don't think we could have played, either team could have played worse offensively than they did. So I think we're going to see some action now.
Well, the Highlanders will be receiving the opening kick here to start the second half. Players now coming back out onto the field. The Riders, the first of the two teams to come out.
Thank you, Dr. Orlett and St. Agnes Orthopedics. Highlanders will be receiving a kick to start in the second half. Make sure you head on over to the snack bar. We'll be closing shortly. You get a little hungry or thirsty.
So the Highlanders actually with 4 returners back, 2 deep. 2 will be up short. That'll be Newhouse and Stewart, the 2 deepest. Worthy and TJ McMillan will be lined up at the 25-yard line. Getting it going to start the second half. Carson Schmidt, and it's going to go to one of the up men, fielded at the 30-yard line. Still on his feet, brought down just shy of the 40-yard line. TJ McMillan. And the Highlanders are going to come out to start the second half. Optimistic, enthusiastic, and keen to try and put the first points on the scoreboard here in the second half of play.
Hey, you can't ask for much better field position without busting a long kickoff. You've got the ball at your own 40, so you've got a short field, 60 yards. Let's see if McLane can cash in. It's about time they put everything together here.
So Noah Zamora out of the shotgun. He's got one back to the side of him. That looks like Gustavo Castaneda in motion, and that's who gets the football. That's Desir Newhouse. Cuts back up. That is brought down.
Tackled immediately by Jeremiah Galindo Romero in the backfield.
Jeremiah Galindo Romero is playing ball today. He
sure
crashed
is.
that fly sweep. He got inside the block and took down the ball carrier for a loss. Very nice play. He knifed right in there.
Play loses a yard. Makes it second down and 11 for McLane. Going to go to the air. Quick pass. This is Stewart. We know how shifty he is. And he'll gain about 3 before being brought down.
I like the call, the bubble screen, but I like better the way the Roosevelt kids have been taught to read that and rally to the football. I was watching the secondary, and as soon as that receiver bubbled back to the inside, 3 kids put their foot in the grass and were coming forward. So, they held that to a 3-yard gain.
It's a big third down and 8 situation. Going to go to the air. Zamora, he's got a receiver wide open. He's got it for a first down and then some. There's their Newhouse, and he's now into Roosevelt territory, brought down at the 43-yard line.
Very nice throw for the first down. There is room to throw on the inside. Roosevelt's free safety is playing very deep over the top, and if they get inside their corners, there's room to hit it before that safety can get over, and that's what they did on that play.
So first down for the Highlanders. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line. Zamora brings him up, and again he'll operate out of the shotgun. Newhouse in motion. Give is going to go to St. Suling. He's got a lot of yardage. Are they going to spot it as a first down? Looks like they are.
Some plays are forever. I remember when I was coaching Pop Warner football in 1968, the crossbuck was the play that used to mess up 8 to 10-year-olds. That was a crossing action out of the shotgun. It worked out very nice, and they picked up a first down, 10-yard gain.
So the Highlanders with an impressive drive now inside the 35-yard line of the Rough Riders. First and 10 at the 34. Zamora. This is Stewart. He's got room to run. To the 20. Will he cut back? Around the end, knocked out of bounds, bumped by a defender. Not sure if they're going to throw a flag for a late hit. He was already out of bounds, but terrific run by Stewart, and we have seen. And now the penalty flag comes out. He was bumped. He was ridden out of bounds and then bumped even more while out of bounds. Ball placed at the 10-yard line.
Hold on there, Coach. Looks like a Roosevelt coach out of the coaching box. I don't know if that has anything to do with this. It did not appear as that they called the late hit, probably because the running back didn't go down. But it was a late hit. He could have held up on that. But Jordan Stewart has a knack for dipping upfield on his runs, and
56.
it gives him
56.
he brings the defense in when he does that, and he's able to pop it to the outside, and he did that twice on one run right there. And we have a nice pickup all the way down to the, it looks like about the 11-yard line. It looks like they might get, well, they're saying they knocked him out at the 13. And I do believe they may have called that after all, right?
It looks as though that's what the call was.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to march it off from the 13. It'll be a half the distance penalty that'll be placed at.
Yeah, so they get half the distance.
So about the 7-8 yard line is where it's. So first and goal from McLane as the clock starts again. Zamora with Stewart to his right. Stewart takes the handoff. He's got running room, cuts back inside, brought down at about the 3-yard line.
There he goes again. Very good instinctive running skills. Hits the hole, makes a hard cut up the field, and then pops it to the outside, but he knows he's near the goal line, so he cuts up the field and gets as much yardage as he can. He's put it down there about the 2? Are they at the 2 now?
Looks as though they are at the.
Are they closer?
I think they're closer. Looks as though the spot is at the 1-yard line.
Okay.
So second and goal now from the 1-yard line for the Highlanders. Zamora now up under center. Gives to the second back through. That's Stewart trying to get the reach. And the football came loose, I believe. Riders are acting as though they have recovered it.
I think he hit the ball in the end zone when he went down. The question is whether his knee was down before the ball crossed the goal line.
Let's take another look at it as he lunged and attempted. It looked as though he was down before the ball came out from that particular angle. Now the riders all have their hands signifying that it's their football, but that only counts when the guys in the striped shirts are the ones making that motion, and I don't believe that that's going to be the call on the play.
No. Props to the refs. They don't have the TV screen we do. They don't get to see the replay, but they got that right.
So we're third down and goal for McLane. And they're going to step back.
Looks like McLane will retain possession.
I think Coach Wright wants a little explanation of why that wasn't a fumble, but it looked like the ball came loose, perhaps before it hit the ground, but his knee was already down, clearly.
So the explanation being given to Roosevelt's coach, Dwayne Wright. And Bob Kanjanian is going to go across the way and have a talk with Wright's counterpart, Coach Pancotti. And that's one of the things that they place such an emphasis on with this crew, making sure they get it right, making sure they explain it properly, and it's a young officiating crew, and they want to have those conversations so everybody understands the reason for the ruling, everyone on the officiating crew. Sometimes it may take a little extra time, but the purpose is to get it right and make sure everybody understands. So the Highlanders hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Zamora up under center. He's going to give it to the first back through, and we've got our first touchdown of the night. Highlanders on the board. Gustavo Castaneda bowls it across from the 1-yard line. Highlanders touchdown.
So we circle back to what we talked about, the quick dive. Just a quick hitter to the lead back, the fullback, and he gets up in that hole so fast. The defense really doesn't have a chance to penetrate as they might if they're in the shotgun formation.
He had a good hole, too, to get through.
I think the Highlanders got the message at halftime from Coach Pancotti. They take the kickoff and go the distance.
And the extra point is good, so the Highlanders grab a 7-0 lead.
Left in the third quarter. McLane Highlanders 7 and Roosevelt Rough Riders 0.
So the Highlanders get on the board as the shutout is now broken. 7-0 McLane here in the third quarter.
An error-free drive, and I do believe that had they had a couple more error-free drives the first half, they probably would have at least another score, maybe two.
And now if you're Roosevelt, does that frustrate you? Does that anger you? Does that steal your resolve to come back and put a solid drive together and match them?
Well, I think this is where things get tricky for the team that's winless. Do they start thinking about the fact that they are winless? But, you know, they're only one score away. I guarantee you all those coaches on there are some great football players on the sideline. They're not letting anybody give up on this game. This is just a one-score game, so let's see what they can do when they get the ball back.
The deep kickoff going to go into the end zone, and there will be no return.
Very good. Make them go 80 or 75, whatever it is nowadays.
So booted out of the end zone, and the Riders will take over. Looking at the North Yosemite League standings, we talked about this at the beginning of the night. Sunnyside and Torres High from Madera, now both 2-0, both in action tonight. Hoover, Fresno High, McLane, and Madera South at a win against a loss. Roosevelt still battling for their first win, not only in league play, but on the season as well. So let's see what the Riders can do here in the second half. Kloster to the near side. That's Young. Young trying to make something happen. And he's up to about the 27, 28-yard line.
Number 56 of the Highlanders, Jonathan Vargas.
Nice play by Jeremy Young. Caught the little quick out. Slipped a tackle and turned it into the 8-yard gain. So good situation here, 2nd and 2.
Kloster with a pair of receivers on either side of the line going in motion, and he's going to take the flip. That's Young. Young's got the first down and then some up near the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 12 for Jeremy Young.
Jeremy Young keeping it rolling here. Roosevelt comes back answering.
And that's enough for a Rough Rider.
There's
First down.
Young has had some big plays tonight, both on the offensive and the defensive ends. You see another look at this run. Took 3 Highlanders to bring him down. So 1st and 10 of the 40-yard line. Kloster wants to go to the air. Nobody open. Now he's got pressure. He throws, overthrows his receiver. That was Danielle Booker that he had hoped to be able to hit there.
Logan Rubino with the pressure. 2nd and 10.
Second out and 10 for the Riders. Quick out. This is Young. He's got an opening up across midfield. First down and then some. He's in the open. Can he take it? He's pushed out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
Finally pushed that down by number 3, Kylan Woodley.
That's how you draw up a bubble screen. Great pass, led Jeremy Young perfectly, and 2 perfect blocks. Just parted the Red Sea, and he took off up the sideline.
Terrific run. Puts the football across the 25 at about the 23-yard line.
37-yard gain.
Keeping it on the ground right up the middle. And that's going to gain about 4 or 5 yards. Penalty flag in the backfield. We had a couple of players mixing it up there. Jordan Stewart in the defensive backfield for the Highlanders. And it looked like Danielle Booker for the Rough Riders, doing a little bit of additional wrestling. And it's being discussed, waiting on the call.
We have a dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 4. Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 3. They offset. First on
So
sporting
offsetting
for both players.
unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Yes.
Your facial expression tells me that you didn't agree.
Well, no, I just, Roosevelt, here you are. You've been struggling moving. You go marching right down the field, and then one of the guys loses their cool, and they got a break because it was offsetting. But right now, the way you're marching, it looks like you're going to tie this game up. So let's be more disciplined than that.
Is discipline one of the key frustrations of a head coach?
Yes, yes, you know, and that'll come with time as the coaches, you know, stay in the jobs and get the kids doing the things they want to do. Because you got 11 guys out there, all it takes is one guy is a little edgy and confrontational and hasn't learned, you know, hasn't had to walk back to the sideline after a touchdown call back because of something he did. And that's the hard way to learn. So
is that what you want your captains to address?
Yeah, well, your captain.
Is that the most effective way for it to be dealt with?
It's always better. It's always better if the kids self-enforce the rules. Yes.
So Bob Kayajanian has brought Jordan Stewart over to his head coach on the far sideline and giving him an explanation of what had taken place. And there are instances where a player can be warned, and then the second time that can bring out a penalty flag.
I think that's what's going on here. They're giving him a personal foul and saying, second one, you're out of here. So they probably want to give him a warning, and Coach Bancotti as well. So he's had a big impact on this game. He knows he's got to go out there and be more disciplined than that. So I'm sure he'll be back and he'll be fine.
He's going to go to the sidelines, Jordan Stewart. We'll head off for this play. Dwayne Wright now having conversation with our lead official. When this happens and a game is stopped or slowed, does this affect the players?
Well, it's affecting me because our game was moving along really well here in the second half, and I think we've had two or three delays where the refs have gone to both coaches and stuff.
So it looks like we're going to get going now as the signal comes to move the clocks, and we've got Roosevelt back up to the line of scrimmage. Second down play for the Riders. In motion, they fake the toss to him. They come to the outside to Booker. Booker trying to pick up some positive yardage. Nothing doing, and he is hauled down.
Roosevelt was ready for that bubble screen. They weren't going to let that pop open again. So I assume all the schools that have the bubble screen have the play that they should have off of that, which is fake that bubble screen and leak that inside receiver up the field because everybody's charging it. So we'll see if someone pulls that off.
Big third down play for Roosevelt. Gloucester's looking to go to the air. He's got a receiver. Intercepted! Highlanders pick it off. Gustavo Castaneda picks it off, brings it back to the 30-yard line. What a big break for the Highlanders defensively. coming up with that big interception.
Well, that's good linebacker play. Gustavo dropped right into his hook zone, and they ran a slant right to him, and he was reading the quarterback's eyes, and he got it served up on a silver platter. So very nicely done.
So for Roosevelt, frustration as they had marched downfield so impressively, only to throw the interception and turn the ball over to the Highlanders. Now McLane will attempt to expand their 7-0 lead as they take over control of the football at the 30-yard line. Zamora gives to the back. Stewart picks up a yard. Maybe he did. It looks like just got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think it is. Yeah. Let me see if I can turn it. Yes. I just turned it so I don't hear it anymore.
So they're giving him maybe a yard, maybe a few inches, but second down for the Highlanders. In motion, cutting back, changing direction. That's Newhouse. He's got room to run. He's got a first down. An additional 5 up to the midfield stripe and ridden out of bounds. Desir Newhouse changed directions.
Yes, Desir headed up, took the handoff, headed straight up, and broke a little bit to the right. Then, hey, he knows how to shift gears quickly and broke back to the backside and found room to the outside of the Roosevelt defense. Picks up a first down.
So ball spotted at the 50-yard line. Again, Newhouse in motion. Quarterback's going to keep it. He's got room to the near side. He's got 5, maybe 6 yards before being brought down. First time we have seen that play called tonight, the quarterback keeper.
Yeah, I think Coach Pancotti has been setting things up. Now, he's running even though I think he realizes there's not a lot of room to run inside, he's still calling the play occasionally because it's setting up his outside stuff. And now he's coming back. He's faking to his backs who are picking up chunks of yardage, and he's going to run with his quarterback a little more. So he's in a good groove right now with his play calling.
The give going to Stewart. Around the outside, he's got the first, and then some. He's got plenty of room to run. Down the sideline, ridden out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Terrific effort, Jordan Stewart. Jeremy Young, the defensive back that rode him out outside the 20-yard line. Take another look.
It's on about 20 on the play. It'll be first and 10. The 19-yard line.
And we've got a timeout down on the field. One thing I've noticed, and I don't know if this is a taught technique or just reaction to the play, but tackling high versus tackling low.
Well, yes, I think, I don't know. I've been out of the game a little bit, but I know that the rugby tackling style became real popular because it's wrapping around the side, keeping your head to the side because the helmet can't be used in the tackle anymore. And I think there's still kids that are learning to do that. And I do think that you can, especially with a kid like, is it Jordan Stewart?
Yes.
Yeah, like Jordan, who's quick, and if you get a hold of him and he wiggles those hips, you're going to go flying. And they're not even putting their hands on him right now. He's cooking right now. Fun to watch. And it just feels like McLane is in a really good play calling groove. They're not committing penalties. The kids are coming up, getting set. They just seem a lot more on point this half.
Our momentum has shifted. The Highlanders with the ball now at the 19-yard line. First and 10 with a 7-0 lead, trying to expand it. The toss, Stewart. He's got off tackle running room, tries to cut back, shirks one defender. Can he get around two? Is blasted out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
Wow, what an effort.
Stephen Perez, the Roosevelt defender, who finally knocked him out of bounds.
Jordan Stewart knew where that goal line was, and by golly, he was going to get there. He barely stepped out, but he slipped a couple tackles, made a couple really nice moves, and he's putting his fingerprints all over this game right now. We have a flag, I guess.
We have a hold charged to the Highlanders. I saw the officials gathered in the backfield, but I was looking and did not see the penalty flag.
Yep.
Flag was at the 20-yard line, just been picked up. So a big blow to the Highlanders, who managed to move that football down to the 10-yard line and maybe a little bit farther, but the
10 yards
holding call is going to bring it back. Oh, what frustration. The Highlanders have just been terrific on this drive, and Jordan Stewart in particular has been sensational.
Yeah, to me, no reason to change. It's still first down. They're getting yardage in chunks, so keep the play call and rhythm you have right now.
Zamora in and out of the hands of the receiver, intended receiver, I should say. Incomplete. That was David Yotum. Second down. Highlanders have to get inside the 10-yard line for a first down. The ball sits at the 31.
The 32 seconds. Okay, gentlemen.
"33 seconds put on the clock. That was the reason for the pause. Thanks the handoff.
The clock, yeah, they didn't stop the clock after the incomplete pass.
Zamora forced to keep it. Got to about the 28-yard line. Had a receiver, and for a moment, Kylan Worthy was open. He had gotten behind, managed to get behind the two Roosevelt defenders. But Zamora ran out of time to get set. And that play went for very little. Third down. And the clock runs out here in the third quarter, so 3 quarters are done. Highlanders with a 7-0 lead, hoping for more, but running out of options on this drive. Penalties have been a source of frustration tonight.
Yes, McLane is marching down. First drive out of the halftime break, they go right down, error-free drive, get the lead, 7-0. Second time they get the ball, they come down, do the same thing. It looks like, hey, the points are at a premium. Looks like they might take complete control of the game, and they have it was a hold, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean.
So we switch ends. We go down to the opposite 29-yard line. The Highlanders sitting at a 7-0 lead. And as the coach was explaining, they really gave the appearance as though they were going to take full command of this game. But the penalty was a big and costly penalty that pushed them back from inside the 10-yard line back to the 30-yard line. And that's where we are at this stage of the game. Third down for the Highlanders, who have really not been able to get the passing game going tonight.
Cervantes is here. Please make your way towards
And now a timeout taken by the Highlanders.
side where our tunnel is at, opposite of our scoreboard. Brian Cervantes.
Their first of the second half. That'll leave them with 2 more. Fourth quarter to play here from Sunnyside Stadium. Roosevelt came in very optimistic, very enthusiastic, looking for their first win of the season after 5 defeats. And the way they played last week against Sunnyside, they looked like they were a team ready to bust out.
Yeah, and they're in this game still. It's still a one-score game. The Rough Riders can, they need someone to make a big play for them. On either side of the ball or both sides of the ball, that's all it'll take right now. And McLane, with their penalties, have certainly hurt themselves, but they've kept them in the game.
So Zamora will work from the shotgun. The explosive Jordan Stewart to his left. Third down. They need to get to the 9-yard line. Zamora, screen pass. The Rough Riders have got it snuffed out. Terrific effort by the Riders. Stephen Perez coming up with a big play defensively.
That was Stephen Perez. Okay, very nice.
So the loss puts the football back at the 31-yard line.
Hey, put it up in the air.
Fourth down.
Or are they going to punt?
Stewart and his head coach having a conversation across the way.
I think they're going to take a penalty and then try to pin him down there.
It's exactly what
Delay of game.
they do. A delay of game penalty will march 5 yards
That'll bring the ball
and put the football back at the 36-yard line of the Rough Riders. Stewart, who does the punting. Now, what were we saying? We rarely see a fake punt. Now, he did take advantage of the muff snap for a huge gain that came up with a big first down in the second quarter. Let's see what happens here. Jordan Stewart back to punt, and he is an explosive ball player.
Oh,
Riders field it. They got a return set up to the far side. Brings it up to, looks like about the 28, 27-yard line.
you know, the ability to come up and catch punts that are in front of you are so important. You see, not just at the high school level, but even at the collegiate level, where they'll let a punt go and they'll get a 20-yard bounce out of it. And so, very good job catching that punt and returning it.
You were able to coach one of the great return men in Central Valley history, that being Clifton Smith. What made him so successful?
Vision and his cutting ability. I don't think I ever, I didn't have anyone that left people grasping for air. He was just incredible, in particular of breaking to the outside and then making hard cuts with either his left or right foot inside tacklers. And he was electrifying, and a coach's dream in terms of the way he made special teams just by himself made him a strength of your team. I'll tell you a funny story. We're playing Bullard, and my good friend Donnie Arax decided that he wasn't going to kick the ball off to him. So, what we typically did if they kicked it out of bounds, we'd take the ball on 35 and get our offense geared up. And that night they kicked it out of bounds, and we said, we want the penalty. So we moved them back 5 yards, and they kicked it out of bounds again. We said, we want the penalty again. And I could see Donnie over there in Donnie Arax style going berserk. He told him to kick it, and as he kicked it to Clifton, he returned it for a touchdown. So
We've had a time taken on the field for an injured McLane player on that return. He has been helped now to the sideline. Clifton was an amazing talent and, of course, a Pro Bowl return man in the NFL for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes.
Henry Ellard a few years earlier at Hoover, another one who was just a remarkable return man, as well as one of the great all-time receivers in Valley history and NFL history with the Rams.
Henry Ellard. Triple jump. A triple jump guy had that explosiveness.
The hopper. Yep. He was remarkable. Well, play getting resumed now with Roosevelt in possession of the football. That punt return brought the football to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 Riders. As they would like nothing more than to put together a drive and tie this football game. They trail 7-0. Foster going for it all. He's got a receiver open. In and out of the arms of Indalecio Luna.
Okay, so there we had it. We had the pump fake on the bubble screen, and we sent the receiver deep. And the pump fake took just a little long, and he didn't quite get rid of the ball as soon as he could. And I think what actually happened there is he just the receiver got just a little bit out of his range, and it was a little underthrown, but he had a couple steps on his guy.
Desir Newhouse did a nice job defending that on the ground. Jeremiah Galindo Romero, the ball carrier for Roosevelt. We have another Highlander down on the play.
Injury timeout.
And we're going to have an injury timeout on the field. But nothing like the special teams. They talk about you'd really need all 3 phases to have a championship team. And a lot of times you'll see a terrific offense and outstanding defense. But at the high school level, it's very rare when the special teams are a huge contributor like you had during your time at Edison.
You know, I have to think back to 1999, Ricky Manning's class, which was a great team, ranked in the top 20 in the state. That year we had 21 senior starters on both sides of the ball. The following year we came back and we started from fresh. And one of our baseball players, our catcher, came out, and he was a great kicker.
Chris Jones.
Oh,
he was something.
And our special teams coach, James Gallardo, who kicked at Fresno City College and the University of Iowa, worked hard with Chris. And Chris Jones, I think, still holds the record for the longest field goal in high school in the Valley, which he kicked on this field here against Sunnyside. I called the punt team in, and James said, "Hey, Chris can make this, and I'll be darned if he knocked it in." But the other part about Chris Jones was on a very inexperienced team that didn't put up the 47 points a game we did with Ricky. Excuse me. Chris kicked the ball in the end zone almost every time, and everybody had to go 80 yards against it. So a lot of drives break down in 80 yards.
Absolutely.
What a weapon.
3rd down now. Riders have to get up beyond the 37. Foster looking in and out, intercepted again. In and out of the hands of his receiver. And the ball is picked off, and he's got an open route to the end zone. In for 6 is number 6, Noah Zamora. That pass went through the hands of the Roosevelt receivers, grabbed by Noah Zamora, and he took it all the way to the house for a Highlander touchdown.
There it is, the tip drill. You run it on your defensive fundamental time all the time, and that's why.
So Noah Zamora, who has led a drive for a touchdown on offense as the quarterback, and now has picked off a pass and taken it all the way to the house for a touchdown on defense. Impressive play as across the way. And we've got a delay of game penalty. A lot of discussion across the way. I'm not sure what that was all about in front of the Highlander bench as they brought the team over to discuss it.
Yeah.
And then they had difficulty getting the right personnel out on the field.
Just a second.
And they take the delay of game penalty.
Why? Why?
Do I get the impression that they're going to go for 2 on this?
Yeah, I wouldn't understand why. They've got the game in control as far as I'm concerned, so it's at least a 2-score game. So, and it seemed that their PAT kicker kicked a nice solid kick through there the first time, unless maybe he's injured.
Good question. They've had a couple of injured players. Do you, off the top of your head, we talked about Chris Jones and his record field goal. Do you recall the length on that field goal?
I want to say, I don't know why 63 stuck in my head, but it might be 57.
I know he had a great leg.
Yeah.
Oof. And there's been some tremendous kickers come out of the Valley. My old next-door neighbor, Vince Petrucci, kicked a 49-yarder at Hoover in 1973. Indeed, and then Joe Cooper at Bullard.
Ejections.
Went on to kick at Cal and in the NFL with the Giants and the Oilers. There's been some terrific kickers come through the Valley. So indeed, the Highlanders do come out as if to go for 2 points. Zamora looking to throw it. He's under pressure. Lofts it up in the air. Jump ball at the goal line. Stewart brings it down, and it's ruled incomplete. So the extra point attempt fails. And we are looking at a 13-0 ball game with 9:47 to play. Time running out on the Roosevelt Rough Riders, who have certainly had their impressive streaks tonight, but penalties have really hurt this ball club, as have interceptions. One thing to say about the Rough Riders, and we've alluded to this during the night, but quite often a team that is winless and a team that falls behind, you'll see a little bit of quit in them. There's no quit in this Roosevelt team.
No, they're not. And it's, as you mentioned, it's a young team, and I think the coaches are doing a good job of keeping them engaged, keeping them playing hard. And these last 9 minutes and 47 seconds are a chance for them to do something positive. Just think what a score would do for them right now. It would really invigorate them. So they have to keep pushing hard right now.
Plenty of time left. 9:47 on the clock. Yes. Jordan Stewart handles the kickoff duties for the Highlanders, and he just had the tee roll 20 yards away from him. Had to retrieve it. So we wait for that to get set up. And it looks like a teammate is going to have to hold the football for him. I don't know what's going on here. Now we've got the McLane coach out on the field. The tee isn't working, and the McLane coach is coming out, and Rodney Wright on the near sideline has got his arms extended as if to say, you know, what in the heck is going on?
I think Andrew's going to hold it up for him. Coach Pancotti. Never seen this before. His dad, Louis, would be very proud. Louis, a member of the infamous Bill Stewart coached 13-0 Edison Valley Championship team. Andrew's father was part of that team, led by the greatest running back in the Valley, in my opinion, Ed Conway.
Ed was great. There are some who talk about Vesty Jackson Sr. and being a remarkable...
Vesty was no joke either, you're right.
My friend Eric Hartgrave, a former Bullard standout, sharing a story that he and some buddies were having a conversation one day And they were talking about the greatest football player, the greatest athlete in Valley history, and they were voting for their Bullard High teammate Rex Hudler, and somebody overheard him and say, can't even compare to Vesty Jackson Sr.
I met Vesty. We inducted him into the our Edison Football Hall of Fame. And of course his son went to McLane.
Played in the NFL.
Played in the NFL.
Riders looking to go to the air. Running back unable to bring that down. Jeremy Young, the intended receiver. Certainly people at Fresno City College that were knowledgeable of his play back in the day rave about Vesty Jackson Sr. But Edwin Conway, indeed. He was a treat to watch, he and Stephen Woods in that backfield for the Tigers. They're coming right back with it to the near side. First down.
Hey, good job, Roosevelt. They've had some success with that back out in the flat. Earlier in the game, McLane was doing a good job of. Well, I'm sorry, I have it twisted. McLane was trying to throw in that flat, and Roosevelt was shutting it down. But Roosevelt has had some guys open out there.
Barrera, the receiver on that play, going to come right back with it to Young. Young picks up a couple of yards.
Good effort. Wasn't much there. Carved out about 5.
Riders now moving the football. They need to score twice. They're down 13-0 as they are in pursuit of their first win of the season. They came in very optimistic, very confident. They've had a couple of bad breaks that have really hurt them. And we've got a McLane defensive back. Looks as though he may be cramping on the field. And an injury timeout is taken. The athletic trainers will dash out to help Yotun. And this is a point in the game with a player down on the field for cramps, where we would generally hear Fred Clark lobby for the use of pickle juice as his remedy to.
Yeah, there's so much. I came out of retirement and coached in 13-14, and packets of mustard were the thing.
Is that right?
Yes, the little packets of mustard. They went out there and squeezed a couple in their mouth, a couple of those packets in the kid's mouth, and sent them back out there, and didn't seem to do the trick. But pickle juice is another one.
Yeah.
So
I had not heard about mustard packets. That's interesting.
Mustard packets.
So the athletic trainers trying to stretch out the player in a bit of pain out there, and they're going to take him off the field. And
for all the people watching the game, all I want you to think about is how you get that cramp in the middle of the night and how you fly out of your bed. So it's the same thing out there. Very painful.
Indeed. So the two teams come back out onto the football field. Roosevelt moving the ball. They can ill afford penalties on this drive. And the whistle sounds to start the clock, and we're going to play again. Foster, real quick out. Going to Young, trying to cut back, trying to find a lane to run. Big block in the backfield. He's got plenty of room across the 40 and pushed out of bounds.
Who was that big number 70?
Whoa, what a block.
Just an outstanding block. Would not have wanted to been on the other end of that one. It sprung him all the way back across the field here. I'm watching some things now as we wind down in this game with 8 minutes left. I'll mention after the break.
Big first down for the Riders. Closter looking to go up top. He's got room to run. Pump fake. Earns him maybe 3 yards before knocked out of bounds.
And I see a lot of little things that I like. I'll give you an example. Roosevelt comes out and the ball's on the near hash, and they've got their receiver 2 or 3 steps from the sideline. But McLane's corner on this side is playing inside the numbers. And that's what you're supposed to do. Sometimes when you see teams or kids lined up, head up, even though the kid is 2 steps from the sideline, there's no reason to play him head up in that situation. So that tells me coaches are really working hard with kids on their angles and their alignment, depending on which side the ball is on.
Pass complete there to Jeremiah Galindo Romero, and he's down to the 30-yard line. Looking at about a 3rd and 2 for the Riders. Quick shot to Young. Tries to shirk a defender. Does get by 1, and now is across the 25-yard line.
He's elusive. They needed that first down.
Have an injured McLane player. Looks like he's in the Roosevelt bench area from that particular play.
Well, I think the cramps are kicking in right about now.
Well, we saw this in the McLane-Fresno High game. In the 4th quarter, the cramps began to kick in.
Yeah, we've had 3 or 4 at least delays there where kids are cramping up.
Gustavo Castaneda heads to the far sideline.
Okay. Roosevelt marching. Let's see if they can make this game interesting.
So 1st and 10 for the Riders with the football at the 22-yard line. Gloucester looking for a receiver. He's got him down at the 18, spinning across the 15, down to the 11-yard line before 3 Highlanders bring him down.
Great effort.
Gets it up to around the 11-yard line.
That was Luna atoning for a play earlier in this game when he was wide open for a prospective big gain and the ball went through his hands.
Indalecio Luna, very nice after the catch. Okay,
Quick
little bubble screen.
Young.
There's our guy Jordan Stewart out there putting the locks on him, making the impact on both sides of the ball tonight.
Picked up a couple on that. And Roosevelt wants a timeout to talk things over.
I really think that McLane right now would be vulnerable to something straight up in between the tackles. Looking at the linebackers are really hedging towards the outside, and they're playing a step or 2 loose because they've been expecting Roosevelt to pass. So I don't know if they're going to tighten up or maybe blitz them, but if they don't, I think there's some running room straight at them.
So the ball spotted at the 9-yard line. 1st and goal for the Rough Riders. It's a 13-0 game with 6:03 to play. Time running out for the Roosevelt Rough Riders in quest of their first win of the 2022 season.
Thank you for helping ensure our athletes have the best care possible, both on and off the field.
Ball on the far hash mark. 2nd and goal. Gloucester looking for a receiver. He's got room to run. He's at the 5. He's lunging for the goal line. Is he over? He is. Touchdown, Roosevelt. Jackson Kloster with a terrific effort into the end zone for the Riders' first score of the night. Just like that, it's a ball game all over again.
Jackson Kloster funneling that big body of his. He decided he was going to make a beeline for the end zone, and there was nobody going to stop him. Ran over a couple of Highlanders to get in there.
Well, they had to get the attention of the holder, and I guess he needed to find the tee. So now they're ready. And the extra point, it's good. And we've got a penalty, looks like a roughing the kicker penalty.
Whoa. All of a sudden, we have a 6-point game, and Roosevelt's going to pin them back down in their own territory, at least the 20, because they're going to be kicking off from the 50.
So a 13-7 game?
45 or 50, wherever it is.
And now this will be a very big defensive stand for the Rough Rider defense. As you see near the bottom of your screen, conversation taking place about that penalty. Let's hear what Bob Kayajanian has to say.
I think that's a bad march off, unless there's 2 penalties. Oh, I see, yes. Wait a minute. Roughing the kicker. Wait a minute. We've got this screwed up here.
I agree. I think they marched it in the wrong direction.
Yes.
So that will bring it up to the 45-yard line.
Wait a minute. Was that a roughing the kicker or running into the kicker?
Oh, good question.
Yeah. Evidently it was
running into the kicker,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, you can get this into the end zone, put a lot of pressure on McLane. But don't kick it to number 4.
He loses the handle on the football, but sometimes that lets you overrun the defense. And indeed, he's out to the 40-yard line before being tripped up. Jordan Stewart, always explosive, and he took that boot and brought it out beyond the 40-yard line. And it's going to be spotted at almost the 45.
Memo to all future McLane opponents. Do not put the ball unnecessarily in
Jordan Stewart's hands.
Jordan Stewart's hands.
Yep. Wise advice. So the Highlanders have seen their lead trimmed to 6 points.
First and 10 for the Highlanders.
Okay. McLean's talking ball security. Let's find the holes, but let's take care of the ball.
Jordan Stewart, off tackle, gets a couple.
I like the call. I mentioned earlier, I think Coach Pancotti is keeping that defense constricted. He doesn't deviate. He knows he's got to hit it in there, and then he'll bounce something to the outside. I expect that to happen in the next play or 2.
Brings it 2nd down and 8.
It's time to carve out first downs. That's the goal right now.
And make that clock your 12th man. Down to 5 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in this game. And a costly penalty as the Highlanders jump. So the ball's marched back to the 40-yard line. Costly, as Victor Brasino is the offending player, jumping from his right tackle position.
Well, just what you didn't want. That's the bad news. The good news, you got someone in that backfield who can cover up your mistakes, and that's Jordan Stewart. Let's see if he bails out his teammate.
So now 2nd and 13 for the Highlanders. Stewart stopped at the line of scrimmage. Brings up a very important 3rd down play. And the officials take a timeout. Highlanders head over to their sideline to confer with their coaching staff. Now the Riders will come over and talk to theirs. Four minutes and 15 seconds, all that remains on the clock. Highlanders, as the coach explained, needing first downs. Roosevelt keen to try and get the ball back and turn it into a touchdown. Dwayne Wright in conversation with the official. Both teams now up over the football and very keen to play.
I think Coach Wright is claiming there's some issues with the clock. Looks like we want to send a message up to the booth here, to the clock operator.
Indeed, they want to put about 12, 13 seconds left on the clock, so they bump it from 4:15 to 4:28. And now the conversation has shifted to the opposite sideline with the McLane coaching staff.
For you people that hate meetings at work, I hope you're not watching this right now.
Well, as a coach, what would you want your staff to be doing with your players in a situation like this?
You know, there's not much you can do. I think what the coaches are doing, have them there, catch a blow, take some water in. You know, you've got kids dropping like flies with cramps. But this is a little unusual. We've had a lot of delays. And that was a running play, unless Roosevelt called the timeout, and I don't understand why the clock's not moving.
No, both of these teams with 2 remaining timeouts.
So I don't know if Coach Wright stopped the clock after the last run, but
let's play some football. Zamora rolling. He's got plenty of running room. He's back to the original line of scrimmage and then gets a couple of additional yards to the 46-yard line.
All right. Playing the ball control and took care of the ball. That was a naked boot. He wasn't going to throw it. I don't think they were going to take that chance. They wanted to keep the clock.
So 4th down now for the Highlanders, and they're going to punt the football away. But we should caution, the punter is Jordan Stewart, and we've already seen him pick up an errant snap and run it over 20 yards for a first down. And they have got to get the football past the 47-yard line of the Riders for a first down. Kick is away. Takes the McLane bounce and then rolls out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. So this could be the game on this drive. 3 minutes and 34 seconds remaining to be played. The Highlanders are up 13-7. And Roosevelt with the football and a chance to drive to tie or take the lead.
What a great opportunity for the Rough Riders. This is all you can ask for. Roosevelt came out of the halftime break and looked like they were taking control of this game, and the Rough Riders have the ball, and what do we have here? 73 yards to go in 3 minutes, a couple timeouts.
Booker in motion. He takes the short pass, looking for running room. He's got a lane. Gets to about the 30-yard line for a gain of about 3.
Let's see what their sense of urgency is here.
Picks up about 4.
They're going to say he picked up 4. 2nd and 6.
These plays pulled off.
Gloucester looks for a receiver. Now he's under pressure, and he's going to go down under a heavy assault.
Gloucester a sack in the backfield by number 52 and 99.
So Gloucester brought down at about the 20-yard line. A huge loss for Roosevelt.
Yes. I'm sure with experience, Joster will fling that right over the head of his receiver out here and into the Roosevelt bench next time.
Third down and 3rd and 17 now. 2 minutes, 26 seconds to play. Gloucester has got his man in and out of the hands of the receiver and through a couple of defensive backs.
Very impressed with his arm. Threw that on a line, 35 yards, 40 yards.
So now it's 4th and 17. This is your ball game. 2:19 on the clock. Rough Riders up the line of scrimmage. They need to bring it up to the 37 for a first down. Gloucester looks for a receiver to the near sideline. In and out of the hands of Danielle Booker.
I'll be darned. He hit him right in the hands between 2 defenders, maybe 3. Nice throw. It would have been a tough catch, but he had a chance. That's all you can ask for.
So the ball goes over on downs to the Highlanders with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock. And a 13-7 lead over the Roosevelt Rough Riders. 1st and 10, ball placed at the 21-yard line. Certainly a frustrating night, a frustrating 4th quarter for the Rough Riders, who made a valiant effort to get on the scoreboard and put themselves in position to try and pull off a come-from-behind victory. And the give goes to Stewart. He'll pick up a couple of yards before being brought down.
Got both hands on that ball. Very smart. And the Roosevelt kids are trying to pull it out of there. That's what they should be doing.
And we've got an injury timeout whistled. A couple of players cramping. And the McLane player once again.
Well, judging by my count, Dan, McLane's the one that hasn't been drinking their pickle juice. Huh?
Yeah, they've kept their athletic trainers pretty busy hustling onto the field. as they're stretching out yet another of their players. So the two teams head over and gather around their coaches, while the athletic trainers tend to the injured player down on the 20-yard line. 2:01 on the scoreboard clock. 13-7 McLane with the advantage here in the fourth quarter from Sunnyside Stadium. Glad you've been with us. Dan Taylor with the coach, Ray Reyes. And boy, what terrific insights we've gotten tonight. Real treat to have Ray with us. Always fun to learn from him, as I've been very fortunate to be able to do for many, many years. Truly one of the great guys and a good friend.
Nice to be out here as the autumn season falls. This is the best. Brings back a lot of great memories, and I'm glad to see the coaches on both sides being able to go through and experience what I did, and both sides of it. You know, the losing, sometimes you have to go through the losing to get to the other end of it, and you learn, not only do your kids learn a lot through the process, you learn a lot about it, and with experience you get better at it, and that's what high school athletics is all about.
Well, Roosevelt's a young team. They have eight sophomores, four freshmen, 3 freshmen on the varsity team. Some have been brought up.
Yeah, I see.
Due to injury.
I see trouble on the horizon for the NYL. I think the Rough Riders are gonna, you know, they continue this trajectory. They're gonna be.
So we have a delay of game penalty that'll march it back 5 yards. No, and I think the numbers show that there's an enthusiasm for playing football on the Roosevelt campus, and that speaks volumes for the job the coaching staff is doing.
Yes. And that touchdown they scored to close this game and make it give them a chance to win. What I put that on the coaches. I was watching the coaches as the kids were coming off with that 13-point deficit, and it was all encouraging and clapping and patting them on the back. And sometimes coaches that are new to it get frustrated, and they don't handle it that way. But certainly the Roosevelt staff has.
Stewart up the middle.
Jordan Stewart with the carry. Tackle made by Jeremiah Galindo Romero.
And McLane is going to take a timeout with 1:26 left. At a 3rd down. A 1:26 on the clock. Clarification being asked for from the McLane sideline.
I think what happened is they signaled that McLane called a timeout, but it was Roosevelt that did.
So with 1:26 left, you trying for a first down, or are you just going to get into victory formation and take an E on a couple of plays and get out of here?
Well, we're on 3rd down, so Roosevelt can stop the clock. I don't think they want to take a chance with a throw, right?
Right.
If something crazy happens, it gets tipped, you're staring at them kick an extra point to win the game. So I think this is going to be close to the vest, a running game, make them burn their last time out, and then they can run again on 4th down and run the clock down under a minute.
Give going to Castaneda up the middle. Clock continuing to run down. 1:15 remaining. McLane with a pair of timeouts left. Roosevelt with 1. And we're now with a minute left to play. So the McLane Highlanders, with a victory, they will leave Sunnyside Stadium with 2 wins against 1 defeat. They came in tied with Fresno, Hoover, and Madera South, all at 1-1. Sunnyside and Torres High from Madera, both at 2-0 coming into play tonight. And another delay of game penalty.
Delay of game called against the Highlanders.
Yeah, I am not quite sure why Roosevelt, unless they don't have a timeout that is showing on the scoreboard, I'm not sure why they didn't call a timeout. The only thing I can surmise is that they're out of timeouts, and it shows 1 on the scoreboard.
30 seconds on the clock. (13-7) McLane with the lead. Highlanders just trying to run out the clock here. Give going to Stewart. And he is wrestled down at the 21-yard line.
Again, very impressed with the McLane running backs. All of them that carried the ball had both arms around the ball. They were not going, there wasn't going to be an accidental fumble here. Playing those percentages. Now,
so on downs, the ball is turned over to Roosevelt.
Get back and play deep, keep everything in front of you.
23 seconds on the clock. Kloster looking for receivers. He's going deep, throws it deep, it's picked off. Well beyond any of his receivers, picked off at the McLane 45, being run back and ridden down at the 14-yard line. Only 8 seconds left on the clock. Really no choice but to try and air it out. But it was thrown well beyond his receivers.
All right, we're a kneel down from another great effort by Roosevelt, and McLane has found a way to win the close ones, and you know that's a positive attribute too for your football team. Playing in tough games, that helps you.
So with 8 seconds left on the clock, the Highlanders will no doubt line it up in victory formation, take a knee, close out this game. Indeed they do. As Zamora takes the knee, lets the clock run out, and that's going to wrap it up here. As the McLane Highlanders come away winners by a 13-7 final score. A hard-fought game. A scoreless first half, and Ray, you called it. You said you had the feeling that once we got into the second half, there was going to be a bit of scoring, and indeed there was.
Yeah, good game. I mean, 2 teams that are trying to find their identity, two young coaches that are new to their programs, and trying to get these kids to the next level, and I think they're doing it the right way. I see a lot of good things in terms of what is being coached out there. I think the future's bright for both teams. I hope the coaches are committed to their 2 schools for a while, and I think that's just going to bring up the quality of play in the NYL when these 2 programs in particular get better.
Indeed. We saw some terrific play. Penalties at times in the first half, enough to drive coaches crazy. But the McLane Highlanders, 13-7 winners, now go to 2-1 in North Yosemite League play as we wrap it up here from Sunnyside Stadium. A real treat to work with you as we look at some of the highlights here. Roosevelt pulling off some big plays. We saw that in the second quarter of action, and then Gloucester picked off as he was trying to thread the needle there in traffic. Castaneda coming up with the INT. And once again, Gloucester looking for his man off of the mitts and into the hands of Zamora, who took it all the way back for the second touchdown of the night.
That turned out to be the game winner.
Indeed. Big play for the Highlanders, running it back. And then this was the finale, as they were just at a Hail Mary situation in the final seconds. Overthrew his receivers, and it was picked off there. So glad you've been with us tonight. A fun night of football at Sunnyside High. A treat to be with you, Ray. Thanks for stepping in tonight for Fred Clark. Look forward to seeing you down the road again. And we'll see you as you join us on CMAC for more high school football. Next game coming up in a couple of weeks. Thanks to our great crew, the students from McLane High, and all of you for tuning in tonight. From Sunnyside Stadium, our final, the McLane Highlanders 13, the Roosevelt Rough Riders 7. Good night, everybody.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Hendricks Chevrolet, celebrating 75 years in the Valley, and State Center Community College District, covering Fresno, Reedley, Oakhurst, Madera, and Clovis. Thank you for your support.